What's up, Cyber Fam, Cyberspace Cadets, and Fam Bots galore? It's already Prostate. It's Sunday. You know what that means. It's time for ice cream. That's right. You scream, I scream. We all scream for that ice cream because it's such a treat. Everybody considers ice cream a treat. And to me, a treat is talking to somebody I want to know more about, somebody I'm very interested in, somebody I find entertaining. And this guy is definitely been on my, HVT list, right? I've got this little list. I call it the high value target list, and this guy was mentioned to me a couple of times back in the day when Killing Joke was with us on the Creem stream. He talked about this kid that drew these funny fucking cartoons and was smart as a whip. And I said, okay, And the first time I go to his channel, man, this dude is shredding a fucking guitar. I mean, we're talking just ridiculously, not Yngwie-esque, but very, very, very articulated lead guitar stuff. Man, it was like crazy, and I pick up as much as I can. Watch this guy because it's fun to watch him draw and talk, and he's got this great delivery. And so I want to expose this dude to some new fam because he needs it, man. He needs as much exposure as he can get because he's very talented. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the one and only. Let me unmute him for a second here. The one and only Blackout.
Howdy, y'all.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Yeah. You sounding sultry with that voice there. Oh man, it's been a weird day. Like I said earlier, it's a long story, y'all. Maybe I'll tell it later. Maybe I'll tell it next week. But anywho, so the idea here is that we're going to talk with Mr. Blackout here. We're going to get to know him a little bit better, and we always start at YouTube. And what I'll do is I'll ask a series of questions. And then by the time we finish up, I'll be back at YouTube. I've got more, kind of to make it all come full circle, as they say, make it come full circle. And so people in the chat, if you've got any questions from Mr. Blackout, please jot them down. And then towards the end of the show, I will ask you to present them with question marks before and after. That's kind of the way we do stuff around here. Some of the fam down, they know what's up. Ismail Ali, man, salute, sir. It's never a complete show unless you're in the audience there, dude. Aloysius Fuddpucker, greetings. Johnny Bonsaco, the lovely Bunny. Bunny. Oh, Bunny. And Uzi Q, my lovely wife. Johnny Bonsaco, I said your name. I'm not going to say it again. Richard 8181, hey, what's up? The one and only Stone Mexican guy, Outlaw Watch Gulf City. Greetings, Outlaw. It's good to see you, Towels, my man. Appreciate you always. Turish, hey, dude. And the one and only Disky Fringo, man. It's I don't think we've ever met, but I've had fun every time I've been checking out his content or any content that he's associated with. Man, it's never dull, is it right?
This key's a blast.
Yeah, and so what we're going to do now is we've said hey to the chat. Any latecomers, know that you're not unwelcome. You're definitely always welcome, and we love having you here. But I want to focus on the dude at hand because he's taking time out of his busy life and decided to grace my presence with it, and I'm very grateful for that. So it's really nice to really kind of sit down and meet with you, Mr. Final Blackout. Like somebody's telling me I need to turn the starship down a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know, man. I try to have fun doing this, right?
Well, that's what matters.
Right. It's
as long as you're having fun doing this, that's...
Well, you are.
Otherwise, it would be a job.
That's the deal. So when I first got into this thing, I wanted to turn it into something, right? And I was doing shit that it became unfun to me. And somewhere along the line, I just said, "Fuck this." and I started just doing stuff that made me laugh and have fun. And this show's one of them, man. This really shows I'd say it's the flagship of my channel because it's my favorite show. I love meeting people and I love talking to new folks, and I've really wanted to hang out with you ever since I saw you shred that guitar, man. I have extensive experience hanging out with the artists and musicians, and waxing philosophic and poetic, and just getting stoned as hell with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's when the good times comes out.
That's when the genius comes, right? So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with the questions for you, Mr. Blackout. So all right, how long have you been on YouTube, and what was the main reason you decided to get into YouTube and start, streaming content, as they say?
How long have I been on YouTube? Well, I knew about YouTube as a site for like a couple of years before I actually made an account.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I made an account until like 2013. And honestly, I kind of was just watching videos, and everyone has to start somewhere. So I actually started with a lot of game review videos, and I started making videos for a little bit, and then backtrack on that like right away because I saw how cringy they were within a week. So those are lost in time.
I understand. So, some stuff you just don't want out there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That was a bad fucking era of me doing things. But honestly, I started with like game reviews, but streaming wise, I actually started on Justin TV, the predecessor of Twitch.
Okay.
And that was like back in 2012, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was streaming art even back then, but I was a lot worse and had a lot worse of an English accent, I would say. Because English is my second language.
Of course.
So, yeah.
All right, so for everybody that doesn't know, where do you currently reside?
I'm living in Norway.
Are you Norwegian by birth?
No.
Okay.
I'm Swedish by birth.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've lived in Norway for 20 years now. Actually, a little bit over 20 years.
All right. So let me ask you this. All right, just as a side quest of sorts, what I understand about the Scandinavian, it's like there's this triangle of hate, and it's like Sweden hates Denmark, or vice versa. I can't remember what it is. And Denmark hates Norway, and Norway hates Sweden, or some shit like that. Or everybody hates Norway. I can't remember how it goes.
It's a little bit of everything, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
Me as a Norwegian, I dislike the way Danish people talk. I kind of hate how things are spelled in Swedish at times. It's like everyone has problems. My own language is shit, and we have two of them.
Yeah, and then English on top of that, which is how would you say English kind of translate or parallels with Norwegian? Is it a similar structure or is it different?
I mean, there's some similarities. I'm not that well versed in trying to like explain languages, so that's not something that I want to try to even fucking get into. But from what I've heard, Norwegian is not that difficult to learn for English-speaking people.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Because German's kind of structured like English, right? So that was easy. That's an easy language, I think, for people to pick up too. So that's cool. So all right. So what's the idea behind the Blackout? Why do you call yourself the Blackout? And what was how much of what people get from your content would you say is the real you?
Well, where I got my username from, honestly, I was playing video games as I would as a teenager. I needed a name for my League of Legends account back then. So I kind of took the name from a Scorpions song.
Yeah.
The song called Blackout.
Yeah.
And that was already taken. So I added a final because my computer was kind of on its final fucking straw. And it always quit on me. So it kind of just went well together.
Is that the one with the album cover with the dude with the forks on his eyes?
I think so, yeah.
Blackout, yeah, that's a great album.
It really is.
I have, man, I need to, damn, you've got me like reminiscent for them right now. I got to download and listen to some, it's been a while since I've been to old Scorpions, you know, the pre ballad hit versions, you know, when they were real metal and they did their thing.
Yeah, I mean, that album alone has like some really good hits, like No One Like You, Big City Nights, and of course, like the self-title.
Yeah, exactly. Love Drive, another piece of meat. That's a great album. And Animal Magnetism. So that era is really good when they added Matthias Jobs. The dude can jam. He's a master shredder. All right, so this is an inaugural question. I ask everybody this question: is there a food from your childhood that you hated, and now that you're older, you actually enjoy the flavor? You've developed a taste for something.
This might sound very strange, but as a kid, I didn't like pizza.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I still don't understand how the fuck I could get through my childhood without eating pizza. But it happened.
Right.
So yeah, also, I kind of skipped over one of your questions, how much of me that people get to see on my streams.
Yeah.
I would say a rough 80 to 90%. Like, I'm more or less the same person on air as I am in real life, and you can like ask people that have actually met me, like Disky and Joke. Like, I do play up a little bit, but not too much, to be honest.
Right. Because I get that, you know, there's a lot of genuine you there. The very personable guy. So how old are you now? Would you?
I'm turning 25 in about a week.
Ah, dude, the good shit's just yet to happen. I mean, the really fun shit's like coming up, dude. That's what I figured out is my 20s. I was figuring out what I didn't want in life. In the 30s, man, I made up for it.
Yeah, and I mean, I've kind of figured out what I want to do, so I'm already on my way.
Yeah, well, see, yeah, and it's everybody learns at their own pace. So yeah, cool. Who would you say is the most influential person to you as a child? And extrapolate.
As a child. Most inspirational? I honestly, I mean, it would probably be my dad. But like, if it's inspiration specifically towards let's say art, then that's a completely different ballpark.
Well, everybody answers the question a little bit different. Sometimes they say family, and sometimes they'll say artistic or even book authors, things like that. So it's entirely up to you. That's
well, yeah. Throughout my childhood, then yeah, absolutely my dad, and probably my grandma.
So, what kind of family did you have? Brothers or sisters? Your parents together? What was it?
I had divorced parents and 2 siblings.
Okay. So, what kind of
And I'm
kid?
the oldest.
Oh, yeah. So, you didn't get away with anything, did you?
No.
Being the oldest sucks. It's like, and by the time you get to the third one, they're like, "Fuck it," you know. I don't know. I always had.
Yeah, I was the trial run.
Exactly. And they're overzealous in the protection and shit. So, you know. All right. So how's school? How was it structured, and how does that happen in Norway? Because I know everybody's a little bit different when it comes to Europe.
I mean, you mean how many grades, or what are we talking about?
We're like, all right, so in the U.S., we've got what's called elementary school, which are grades like 6 years old to, I guess, 8th grade. So 6 and 8 is 14. And then 14 to 18. And then, college would be after that.
Yeah, essentially the same. It's elementary, middle school, high school, and then college.
Yeah, exactly the way we do it. So what was that like? What was school like for you? What kind of a student were you?
Horrible. First of all, I have dyslexia. So, to begin with, I have a bad start to begin with. Which, like, reading was not my strong suit. So I thought that I tried to do things more practical. But I don't know if that even helped.
Right.
So I was kind of a really shitty student. I didn't really care. I passed everything, but I just didn't really put much into it.
All right, let me ask you this, because I as an artist, I kind of did this, okay? When I would take notes, a lot of times my notes were drawings, and I could remember what was going on in the class when I would like look at the drawing, the doodle, whatever it was. It was kind of like a shorthand, in a weird way. Did you have anything like that? Any trick you used?
Not really. I didn't really fucking keep attention to the class, so I was just doodling for most of the time.
Right. So and when we get there, I'll ask you about your artistic style. So, do you have a favorite holiday or season? What are holidays like for you? Do you guys celebrate Halloween? Do y'all have? What about Christmas?
Christmas used to be one of my favorites, but in later years now, it's just summer season has become my favorite. Summer / like September, roughly, because that's usually when I travel.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and Christmas has kind of changed over the years because of multiple reasons. But
when you say travel, what do you mean by that?
Usually once a year I either travel through or to somewhere in Europe or to the US. Over the last like 4 years now, no, 3 years, I think. I've been going to the US at least once a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you usually do it at the end of summer or early fall?
Yeah, roughly around hurricane season, and I aim for Florida, so...
You're rolling dice, dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, man, with the coof shit going on now, I don't know if you won't be able to make that happen this year.
Oh, no. This year is going to be just a fucking skip year.
You know, everybody's got different opinions on mostly everything, but everybody agrees that 2020 has sucked balls from the get-go. So,
world-wide, yes.
yeah.
Personally, no. It's actually been one of the best fucking years for me.
Indeed. Well, talk about that. What's been positive in your life?
Well, honestly, like, oh, you mean just in 2020?
Well, I mean, yeah. What's been positive for you?
Oh, well, to begin with, like, I fucking launched the Indiegogo campaign for my comics, which somehow did as well as it did, which still shocks me. And then I just got out of a kind of shitty group of people, or not shitty, but some shitty people in that group, and I kind of just went on my own and kind of just realized that I'm better off.
Yeah, sometimes you got to fly your own ship, bro. I totally agree with that. Cool. All right, so if you could go back in time and talk to little Blackout at the age of 8, what would you tell yourself?
Don't go to school to become an electrician. I would start with that because that's a waste of time for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like being outside during winter and trying to like fix a lamppost is not fun.
I can imagine, man. It's like I'm pretty handy around the house, right? I can do plumbing. I can do anything about slinging a hammer and nail. When it comes to power shit, that terrifies me.
Yeah, and I didn't realize the risk until like fucking years after I quit.
Yeah, I bet, man. It's like it's
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, I went to trade school to actually become one, and I finished. I went on and kind of I applied for some internships and apprenticeships, but no one really gave a shit because you need experience, and you can't get experience without being in work, and it's a never-ending loop.
Right.
So,
it usually comes down to you like having somebody in the family or some shit, right? That helps get you into that kind of situation. That's kind of that's kind of sucks. Well,
so I kind of just skipped that part and just went to uni, and then that didn't work out, so I started working, found a different job.
Cool. Let's see. All right, so we kind of touched on elementary and middle school. What kind of a kid were you there? Were you like a
Elementary?
Yeah.
An obnoxious fucking shit kid. I hate myself so much from back then.
mini edgelord?
No. Just, I used to have a very, what's the word? I had a very vivid, like, imagination. I was one of those kids that pretended to, like, anything from, like, having sticks and just pretending it's a gun or something like that.
Right.
It was obnoxious, but I was a kid. I had fuck else to do.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like the par for the course there for if you're a male.
Yeah.
You know, it's not ADHD, people. It's called being a boy. All right.
Yeah, it is.
Indeed.
And like I went from that, and then I started playing soccer or football, as we call it here. The right way to say it.
Yeah,
And
we're not going to argue about that.
Yeah.
I'm not falling for that one. Yeah, I respect it. I love soccer. I played soccer myself back when it wasn't popular.
Yeah.
But if you went to Catholic school, you played soccer because that's what Catholics did, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well, that's kind of specific.
I know, man. It was weird. Very weird. Let's see. All right, so what's the craziest or dumbest or most dangerous thing you did as a kid? What,
Climb trees
Yeah.
in the woods where no people were around, but besides that, I was fairly. I was very careful of myself. Like, I naturally just very careful about how I do things.
So no pyromania in your background or anything? No. No.
Anyone?
Playing with fire?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I wasn't that kind of kid.
Were you cautious?
Yeah, very much so.
About getting in trouble?
Not necessarily of getting in trouble. I mean, that was a part of it, but I guess I kind of was a little bit introverted to begin with. So I didn't have anyone to influence me to do dumb shit.
I see. So you were kind of so when you joined the football team, you found out you had talent. So what happened? How did that work?
Oh, I didn't have talent at all.
No.
But
you stick with it?
Yeah, I stuck with it for, I think, 6 or 7 years. No, yeah, 7 years. And honestly, I used it just as my way of working out.
Right.
Like, it's fun, but I would never go in and expect myself to have a professional career in it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I bet you're actually a good player by American standards. Trust me, you're probably excellent. Yeah, a lot of running, a lot of running laps.
Yes, and that's also why I'm a shitty player, because I used to have asthma, so yeah, my lung capacity was already kind of bad, and it didn't help.
So, let's see. All right, so let's talk about high school a little bit. So when you get out of middle school and into high school, what's that like?
Okay, so actually, I'm just gonna go back to middle school to begin with, because I had a kind of a shift in mentality and in the way that I go about things, because there were a lot of drama in my personal life in middle school. I kind of became even more introverted, and that's when I discovered like everything from YouTube to video games to metal.
Right.
And from there, I kind of just slowly recovered, basically, until I hit high school, and then I found good people that I kind of trained myself to be more extroverted and more social through.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's interesting because I dove into heavy metal to cope with painful stress that was in my life.
Yeah.
And so I totally identify with that. It's a refuge.
It used to be.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it doesn't help.
Yeah. It's just that's interesting because you've conjured some fifis in me a little bit. That's interesting. So you go into high school and you've got a better crew. You're hanging around.
Yeah.
How are your grades doing then? Did they improve or?
Well, they're passing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm still kind of just going with the flow, to be honest. Like, I didn't put in the effort. The only thing that I managed to get somewhat of a good grade in was English, and I was terrible at it. And it's only because my teacher told me to not use the book, just speak in class instead.
Oh, yeah, the immersive kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Like, we just got told the first day, okay, we're gonna look through like the index of the book. Just okay, these are the topics we're going through. Now, everyone, just put away the book and we're gonna just continue to talk for the rest of this year. And that was my best fucking year of English, to be honest.
Killer. What about, all right, so at that point were you like starting to like hook up with chicks or anything? What was the first time you got with a chick, like?
Drunk.
Yeah?
Yeah, and that was actually after high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that I already had a bad start.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
So, all right, so talk about the first time you got fucked up. What was that like?
Oh, God. Well, on my own, probably... Okay, so in Norway, we have like a graduation month, basically, which us as teenagers, like 17, 18-year-olds, go out drinking. And the first night of that, I got fucked up on moonshine.
Ooh.
Yes, and that night is very fucking blurry. I know I woke up after drinking a bottle of it with my feet in the water and very confused what the fuck happened in that 30 minutes.
I bet, man. Oh, Lord. He's drinking that PG, pure grain. Nice. I like, yeah. You know, that's kind of a thing down here where I live in the South of the United States. You know, you got family, the family White Lightning, the family recipe.
Yeah.
That somebody makes, but we don't know who it is. So, yeah.
Exactly.
That's kind of a secret in the family here, man. On one side that I rarely see anymore. Let's see. All right, so we got we talked about the soccer thing, or the football. Excuse me. The football thing. So all right, let's. So high school, was that a positive thing for you?
Honestly, it was kind of a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
I had some bad experience while in high school, but like that's mostly like personal shit. But overall, as a high school experience, it's probably decent compared to a lot of other people.
Right. Do you plan on going to any reunions? Are you still in touch with people you went to school with?
Not that I went to class with, but people that went to the same high school as me that I started talking to. Yes, I still have a couple of friends.
All right, so
yeah.
I take it you're not married.
Nope.
Are you in a relationship right now?
Nope.
So you're wide open, ladies. He's up for grabs. Just saying. You all right, so let's start talking about stuff that music. So what was the first band, like metal band, that you actively remember going, holy shit?
Iron Maiden with the album Live After Death.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the one that I started with, but the first like non-live album, that was Brave New World.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
that's Iron Maiden, isn't it? Right.
It is.
I have more of the earlier stuff. I saw him with Paul Di'Anno on the Killers tour. So I actually met them a couple times. Bruce Dickinson, yeah. It was funny because I had it was the Number of the Beast had just come out, so that's their third album, and Bruce Dickinson was with the band at that point, and Paul Di'Anno had gotten fired. So I bring them all my, I had all my 3 records with me, and they signed them. The guitar player Dave Murray, dude, that dude is like 3 feet tall. He looks like a leprechaun or some shit, and he was shit faced drunk. This is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah, well, the bass player is the guy that wrote most of the music and the lyrics, right? Steve Harris, and so he was really nice. This Bruce Dickinson just looked at me like, "You son of a bitch," because I gave him the first and the second album, which didn't have him on, and he signed it. It was funny. So Maiden, man, they're incredible, because the whole back when they came out, they were kind of a reaction to punk. And if it wasn't for Maiden, I don't think that we'd have had Metallica, right, in that thrash metal era. It's interesting to see how metal has developed, and all the different. Now there's all these different subgenres of metal that I was like, what the fuck? I just know what I like when I hear it. I'm a big I saw that Iron Maiden, Whitesnake, and Judas Priest. And the Priest, we heard before we started this show, The Devil's Child off of Screaming for Vengeance, and before that I played some Cult. So I'm a big Billy Duffy fan. That dude. I'm actually a Mutt Lange fan. I like the production techniques that he used with like AC/DC and Def Leppard. There's a distinct sound that he gets out of the. He even did that one Danzig album, the one with Mother on it. Mother.
Oh, I don't remember what album that is.
Yeah,
but I know the song too well.
Yeah, but so the same guy produced all of those, right? Back in Black, for those about to rock. And High and Dry, and Pyromania, for Def Leppard, which in retrospect are pretty too really. So to me, there's a difference between rock, power rock, hard rock, power pop, and heavy metal, and then I guess the metal has its own thing too.
Oh, metal has different fucking genres too, yeah.
Yeah. Uzi Q's going squirrel, and that's her cue for me. I'm getting way off topic, but I'm at the point where it says talk about music. So talk about, all right. So what are you listening to now?
Nowadays, well, I've been listening to a lot of. Okay, so honestly, when I started with music, it's like metal, then went to rap, then went to metal again, and then been doing that for a few years now. So right now, I'm just in a fucking mess of listening to rap, but transitioning into listening to metal again. So it's a lot of Dissection, which is one of my favorite black metal bands, and a lot of Norwegian rap for some reason.
I can't even imagine what that sounds like. Hey man, we got $10 from the Killing Joke himself. Thanks, man. Blackout is the worst. Boo! You can hear him. You can hear his voice. You can hear him doing that. I can hear him doing that.
Yes, I know, old man. I'm aware. Fuck you, Joke.
He and I have a little bit in common, man. We both had the same kind of like heart surgery.
That's actually how I found out about you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because the Joke told me about that, and I was surprised that, considering how many people have gotten through that you guys actually managed to find each other on the internet. Like that's that wasn't kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a part of me that thinks that there's like this that nothing happens by mistake, that there's some kind of reason behind it, purpose. I think people meet each other. So yeah, and there's always these people that you come back in orbit with throughout I've found in my life. But yeah, what were the odds that I would find somebody exactly that had an aortic aneurysm just like I did? It's got to be astronomical, right? So you said Norwegian rap, man. Is that kind of your guilty pleasure, or is there something else?
No, I do genuinely like rap. Like I'm a huge fan of like some. I don't even know what style of rap it's called, but it's like everything from rap groups like La Coca Nostra, heavy metal tyrants. I think it's basically it's a small group of rappers from the West Coast, I think.
In the U.S.
Yes. So that's where I started with rap, and then I found more and more Norwegian stuff. It wasn't really that good to begin with, and then I stumbled upon a couple of groups that was just really fucking good.
Right.
And it just fell into taste one day.
Yeah, you know, it's like I don't rule any kind of music out. Rap's not my thing, to be honest with you. But I've heard some rap that's really good and engaging. Most of it sounds like shit to me. But I understand how all this works. As a matter of fact, I got a little hip hop playing in the background on this show.
Good shit.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a little laid back, you know. We'll just copyright free stuff. But yeah, all right. So let's talk about art for a little bit.
Okay.
So you've got this distinct style. You know, I didn't even think about asking you for some pictures. I should have done that, man. I feel bad.
You missed the opportunity. But yeah, no, I do have a certain very, very distinct style. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's unmistakable, and it's very humorous. I see love and humor in it.
Well, it's my passion, so I do love what I do.
Yeah.
It's, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't.
All right, so all right, tell me about this comic, or what's the idea behind the comic, and what do you want to do with it?
Well, the comic that I'm working on now is called The Nobodies, which is like a project that me, The Killing Joke, and Disky have been working on for like 2 years.
Right.
And it kind of came together because we were just shooting the shit on streams, and I tend to draw a joke ending up in horrible, absolutely horrible situations. And we kind of just translated that into, okay, we can come up with a little bit of a plot about us trying to make a comic and making it into a whole meta kind of thing.
Right, yeah. I like that.
At the same time as implementing my shitposting art. Because at this point, I just call it shitposting art because I'm having fun with it and it's disgusting.
I like it, man. It makes me laugh every time. Even just the way you you have a cool knack for conveying movement, in a cartoonish style, which is very difficult, I would imagine, right?
I mean, it's not that difficult if you understand why a moving look like it's moving.
Right.
because like there's a whole bunch of like techniques that you can like learn, but most of what I know when it comes to art is like self-taught. I have looked up people drawing, I've studied comics, I've just trial my error.
All right, just for everybody to know, all right, what kind of equipment are you using to do this? Because you're using what, a pad and a stylus?
Yes, I'm using a Wacom 22 HD Cintiq. It's a like display tablet, basically.
Right.
But I also work a lot on paper.
Okay. What I'm trying to. Oh, so what program are you using to?
Software-wise, I use Clip Studio.
Who? All right. Who makes that?
Fuck if I know.
Is it free or is it?
No, it's not. There is a free trial. There's a cheap version, and then there's like the expensive edition of that software.
Okay.
Yeah, and I bought the expensive one because I've been using this software and its predecessor, which was called Manga Studio, for like fucking 7 years now, and I love this program. It's so handy for drawing comics.
Can it set you up to draw like cartoons and stuff, like puppets for motion cap stuff, like what people are doing with Premiere?
But no, I
guess you'd have to have Premiere for that.
Yeah, you would need a video editing software for that.
Right.
Because
yeah.
Oh, go on.
No, I was going to say Premiere plugs in with Photoshop and the way that they dovetail everything together.
Oh yeah, no, there's no like implementation and Premiere into this. I don't think, like, you have to export the actual drawings and then import it to Premiere and then do it like that way.
All right, so talk about, all right, we're kind of talking about your comic. How did you get the funding? How'd that work, man? Because
How did I get the funding?
Yeah, because it was fast. You really got a fast turnaround on people, with the deal for the what was it, a GoFundMe or?
It was Indiegogo.
Indiegogo, that's it.
Honestly, I have a lot of people that just wanted to support me, and I mean, I've been working on this comic for 2 years, and I did use Patreon for a bit. So most of the groundwork was kind of funded by Patreon, and then I'm now closing it down, so it's not going to be used at all.
Yeah, I read that tweet that you put out, and I was like, all right, so what? Tell everybody what you said in that tweet. I found it fascinating.
Basically, I don't feel like I give people enough on Patreon for it to be worth them paying for, and I think they deserve better from me, and I'd rather they get something in return for supporting me. So if they want to buy a comic, they will have the comic in their hands instead of seeing me draw things, or seeing me post pictures on Patreon of things in progress or just finished pieces, because I don't think that's... I don't feel that's enough. I want to give the people that support me more.
Yeah, and that's really admirable, man. But there's a part of me that says that the market will make that decision for you. If you build it, they will come. I don't know. When I read that, I was impressed, because most people are like, they got their hand out, and you're pushing people's hands away, and that's just because you honestly feel in your heart that you're not producing what you think is worth what they're thinking, what they're putting forward, right?
Kinda, but it's also the fact that I'm very much I guess a people pleaser. I try to make people happy with what I do in any sense of like just me drawing a dumb picture. My goal with that is to make someone smile, smirk, have a laugh, whatever I can do. And like through Patreon, okay, fine. I can use that to fund like monthly, but I don't produce enough content for that to be something I feel comfortable with.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of driving at. It was that was something I found admirable, is that you want to give the people that take the time out to engage in your product, in your production. You want to give them the best that you can.
Because I genuinely I genuinely believe that my audience deserve better.
Well, that's like there's an old saying that if you want to hit the target, you've got to aim above the target in archery.
Yes.
And I think that I don't think you and I will ever be perfect, but we can always aim towards perfection.
Yes, you can only strive to be better people.
Indeed.
And deliver on better things.
Right. How is that translating in your life, IRL?
Kind of horribly. I mean, I'm trying to be a better person in general. I'm not terrible, but there's things that I can improve on, of course.
Yeah, and a lot of people, it's interesting, it's like there's nothing wrong with trying to be a good person.
No, of course not.
It's I don't know, some people seem to discourage that shit, and I don't understand why. You don't have to be a dick and do this thing. I've seen good people do good things and succeed. So, you keep doing what you're doing, man, because I appreciate it. I think you're a real likable guy, and I think you gotta, everybody. I don't know anybody that said it. You're another one of those guys that nobody says anything mean or shitty about, right?
Well, I'm
serious,
normally,
man. Yeah, I appreciate that.
There's always those instances where people are gonna call you a shitty person, but it's all a matter of perspective on things too.
Yeah,
like I'm trying my best to not getting involved in shit. I'm trying to make sure that everyone I'm around is having a good time, even if that means that I'm gonna take a little bit of a hit, or I'm gonna be the punching bag of the day.
Right.
I'd rather do that than seeing someone who's having a shitty time.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So, all right. So let's kind of shift gears here and let's talk about, what about movies? Are you into horror films?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe we talked about this on Gaming and Yelling stream like a month ago. I do collect movies. I go out of my way to find like diamonds in the rough if I can, which means I have to sit through a lot of crap.
Oh God, I know it, man.
Yeah.
So, what's the most recent thing you've seen that that caught you?
The most recent thing that I seen that really caught my attention. Well, yesterday I saw Six String Samurai for the first time.
Oh wow! Who directed that? Is that a Takashi Miike?
I'm not sure, but uh, it's it's such a good movie. I don't know how the fuck I missed this, and I think it's been a day now since I watched it, and I think I'm pretty confident to say it's probably in my top 5 films.
Wow.
Not my number one, but it's up there.
I haven't seen it, man. So
It's stupid. It's very fucking stupid, and I love it.
yeah, see, and I was trying to tell Uzi, there's this old movie. All right, so if you're into like stupid, funny, weird, the Sean Connery did called Zardots, and
Yeah.
he runs around half naked with this bad wig on. And the story is ridiculous. It's like this giant head floats around and vomits out guns to these dudes, and they go run around killing each other and shit. The giant floating head, man. It's like I expected it to start throwing bread at him or something, right? And it's guns. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's a movie to definitely watch.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those. It's like it is so ridiculously weird and bad. It's actually funny as fuck to watch. It was cracking me up. I gotta finish that.
I think I saw that one while drunk once, and I remember bits and pieces, but not the entire thing. So I might have to rewatch that.
Yeah, well, and then there's like those diamonds in the rough, like you're talking about, like the original Rollerball with James Caan, which is so good, and the remake was so horrible. I'm a huge John Carpenter fan.
Yeah, I appreciate his films a lot.
It's have you seen Prince of Darkness?
I have not. That's like that one and People Under the Stairs. Are like 2 films
that's Wes Craven, but yeah,
fuck.
I think they came out the same year.
Yes, they did. That's why I was thinking like those are like a double feature that I wanted to do. Probably a terrible double feature, but it would be the same year.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And both movies are crazy. That might be something to do. But yeah, that's part of the Carpenter calls it his Apocalypse trilogy. Is like The Thing is the first movie, Prince of Darkness, and then In the Mouth of Madness is the third one, which is a great movie too. You talk about meta, that thing starts getting inside of itself. It's crazy. Let's see. I was thinking about. Do you have anything like Shudder?
No.
No. There's some really wild stuff on. That's it for $5 a month, man. That is a good deal. Because I've always been able to find good, obscure, weird horror stuff. But I gotta hook you up, man. Maybe we'll do a screening in the old Discord here, and watch some quality schlocky horror, or just really good horror, you know. But I'm with you, man. Have you seen any of the John Waters movies with Divine?
John Waters, that's like Pink Flamenco. And
Yes,
so on, right?
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
man, Female Trouble is the best movie ever made.
That's actually one of the few ones that I still haven't seen. I know, like, scenes from it, but I still haven't gotten around to watching the entire thing.
Oh, that's the one where Divine rapes himself.
What?
Yeah. It's a funny movie, man, about this about a professional model that ends up on death row in prison and shit, and it's just this really great story, and it's horrible and it's funny at the same time. Polyester, Jesus, all of those movies are just insanely funny and stupid. But yeah, Kefki, Shutter Rules. Say hi to Kefki, man. She's cool. She's a sweet lady.
Hi, FK.
Yay. What about sci-fi, man?
I never got into sci-fi, to be honest. Like I fell way behind on everything except like I watched Star Wars. That's basically it.
Did you see? Go ahead.
Well, yeah.
No, Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, I started with like the Empire Strikes Back. Like that was the first sci-fi film that I can remember.
Well, yeah, that's like having Pam Anderson as your first piece of ass, man. It's like back in the day when Pam was, Pamela Anderson, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Empire Strikes Back is the epoch, is as high as you get with that.
And everything after
franchise.
that, I kind of just zoned out too.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is one of those rare, once in a lifetime movies, I think. And let's see. What about what was the thing? Is the thing a horror movie or is it a sci-fi movie? It kind of.
It has elements of sci-fi in it,
But I think it's horror. Yeah.
but I think it's a horror.
I agree with you. Just trying to hash this stuff out here. What about have you seen any of the Stanley Kubrick stuff, like Clockwork Orange?
Yes, of course I have.
Yeah.
Like Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket. I've seen Ice White Shot once. And Doctor Strangelove I still haven't seen. I just picked up a copy of that.
It's very, so the deal about Doctor Strangelove, man, is a lot of the younger people can't relate to it because it's like a Cold War thing. But I swear it's one of the funniest movies ever made. It hasn't aged well. But we can still nuclear annihilate the planet pretty easily. If certain things happen, but it's not as imminent as it was when that came out. The joke and I remember back in the day when we used to have drills about hiding under your desk or getting in the hallway at school for a quote tornado, and it was really about nuclear war. So you're like going, okay.
That works.
Indeed. What about, have you seen any of the Battlestar Galactica, the reboot that they did for the Science Fiction Channel?
No. Again, when it comes to sci-fi, I'm very, very behind on anything that has to do with sci-fi. Like, I like to bring up this example. I've only seen one Star Trek thing, and it's the 2009 film.
Okay. The reboot with Zachary Quinto.
Oh, actually, no, I'm going to correct that. It's not the 2009 one. It's the sequel.
Oh, the one with
Khan.
Yeah, the one with Khan in it, right? With
Yes.
the guy that played
Benedict
Sherlock.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that movie. I thought it was a great reimagining of The Wrath of Khan, right?
It was an okay action film.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. And I think they were thinking about bringing him back, I would have, because I think there was a lot to explore there, since they had a reboot of the guy, genetically engineered and shit. So, all right, what about anime? Are you a big anime fan?
I'm in between. I've seen some. I'm not hugely into it. I used to be somewhat for a while in middle school to high school. I did watch a lot of anime just going through some of the classic stuff. And, like, catching up on fucking Dragon Ball, like the original.
You see, man, everybody, I've got to sit down and watch that, man. You know?
Oh, the original one, it hasn't aged too well, but I would actually say read the manga of Dragon Ball. I've grown up with that, and it's a good read.
Disky says your favorite anime is The Blue Girl. What?
I don't know what the fuck that is.
I thought he was like.
But it's coming from Disky, so it's probably something not safe for work.
Oh yeah, is it okay now? A Stone Mexican guy told me what a fuda is. Does it have that in it? That's bad. Yeah, hentai and shit.
Probably.
Yeah. Tentacle dick. All right, so I'm lost in my questions, to be honest. I usually I don't know what I do. Well, yeah, I've got a little Sharpie that I kind of mark through, you know, when I've asked it, and I haven't been doing that because I've been really into this conversation. I'm really enjoying this, man. I don't get to talk a lot about, you know, kind of the more aesthetic aspects of things, so I appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you and I like good visuals and good audio, man. It's just, I love having my mind blown too. Well, among other things. Let's see. All right. What about scars, tattoos, piercings?
I mean, I do have some scars, but it's not. There's nothing good behind those stories.
Right.
It's like me being a kid, dumb kid, like fucking cutting myself on a knife while in the woods. But nothing like no spectacle about them.
I understand.
No tattoos, no piercings.
Definitely. So in 40 years, what do you think people will be nostalgic for?
In 40 years?
Yeah.
Fuck if I know. YouTube? Or more specifically, old YouTube?
Yeah, maybe free speech. I don't know.
Yeah, who the fuck knows at this point?
Yeah, no
if you
shit.
asked me this like 10 years ago, I could not even tell you how 2020 would be.
Yeah, no doubt. This has been the fucking curveball. This 2020 has been a hell of a curveball. That's for sure. All right, so what would you say is the most useless talent you have?
Useless talent? I could say art, but then I know people would yell at me. No, it would probably be playing guitar, because I don't really do that outside of, like, by myself.
Yeah, man, but you're good. You're really good.
I'm decent at most.
Well, you could do. All right, here's the deal. You could probably do a garage band kind of thing, and have a lot of fun doing that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what's the least sexiest name you've ever heard? I
I don't know why this came to mind, but it's a Norwegian name, which would be Ruth. That I just never understood why they would name a female that.
What is it?
Ruth.
It?
Yes. Is it R-U-T-T, I believe.
It.
Yeah, it's again. I'm not too picky on names.
I feel you.
I don't really care that much.
What fictional character would you like to have met or meet? Would you like to meet?
Fictional characters.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a good fucking question. Fuck, that's a question that's gonna be. I don't even know what to. Okay, fictional. Fuck it. Freddy Krueger. There you go.
All right, man. I love it. That's a great
Just
answer.
because he seems so fucking over the top, it would be interesting.
Yeah, man. Nothing beats Dream Warriors. The classic Freddy.
I prefer Nightmare.
Oh yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, that's a good movie too.
Yeah, it's the one that's not canon.
Yeah, the second one too, man. It's kind of a little gay there. Let's see. All right, I've asked you that. Or if you could know the absolute and total truth of one question, what question would that be?
Okay. Just one question. When will I die?
Okay. If you,
That's a very simple one.
well, it kind of is, but it's like that's the one. Like, do you really want to know, right?
Yes, because then I know I'm on a time crunch. That makes things a lot more interesting.
I tell you,
I
man.
work better when I'm on a schedule
Once you
and on a time limit.
once you smell the sphincter of death, it kind
Then you'll enjoy every fucking minute of it.
well, yeah, exactly. But that's part of it, and also you really it changes your perspective.
Yeah.
You know, in a good way. I think it did for me. It fucked with me for a couple years, but I finally got through it. Let's see. If you could go back in time and spend a week with anybody, who would it be, and why?
Huh. Good question. With anybody? Fuck it, just because he's one of my big inspirations for me doing comics. Don Martin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I would like to know how the fuck he comes up with some of those visuals. And just pick his brain apart.
Yeah, that's cool, man. All right, so what job would you be terrible at?
Probably building houses. No, actually, I'm okay with that. Car mechanic. There you go.
All right. What would you say is your spirit animal?
A pug.
Man, pugs.
They're adorable goblins.
They are. They're sweet.
Gremlins walking around, with their eyes almost popping out.
Very loyal critters, man.
Yes.
Yeah, ugly as fuck, but goddamn, they're loyal and they're sweet. Slobbery. Yeah,
Very much so.
All right, this is the point where I do what's called the Lipton questions. It comes from this old TV show that used to be on everybody's TV back in the day. This guy would invite actors into and get really deep with them and do like 2 and 3 hour interviews with them, and he would always ask them this set of questions. And he died. He's one of 2020's deaths. I don't think he had the goof, but you never know. I think he was just old. I think it was like in the 90s. But all right, so here it is. All right, and just the idea is to say what pops in your head. It's the quickest thing, and then we move. All right. So what is your favorite word?
Cunt.
What is your least favorite word?
Nothing comes to mind.
All right.
Yeah.
So what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
I would say passion.
Cool. What turns you off?
Again, nothing comes to mind.
Okay, there's nothing that puts you off of anything and it makes you just instantly turns you. That's cool. All right.
Yeah, I've been just trying to come up with words that
Yeah.
I would connect to those.
All right. So what's your favorite curse word?
Well, I repeat, cunt.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been hanging around too many Australians.
What noise or sound do you love?
I'm gonna pass on that.
All right. What noise or sound do you hate?
When plastic gets, or like wrapping plastic around anything goes up against the freezer where it's like frozen ice, that fucking sound.
That's pretty specific, man.
It is, and I hate it so fucking much.
It sounds like you do, man. Let's see. All right. So what profession other than what you're doing now would you like to attempt?
Can you repeat?
Well, all right, what profession other than the one your own, the one that you're doing, that you do now, would you like to attempt or to try to?
Well, if I could get anything, then I would probably go for director.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
Be electrician.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You don't belong here.
GTFO. That's right.
Hey, I prefer it where it's hard.
It's like, oh, hell did freeze over.
Yes.
All right. So chat, this is your cue. You know what to do. Throw the questions in. Put a couple question marks in there, so we'll know it's for Mr. Blackout here. And while we're waiting for some of those questions to pop up, I'll ask you. All right. So in your consumption of content here on YouTube, who would you say, in your opinion, is a criminally undersubscribed YouTuber? And somebody that needs some love.
Oh, that's a fucking good question. See, most of the people that I've been watching over the last like fucking 2 years have been like decently. They've gotten a decent amount of attention over the last year or so.
Mm-hmm.
But just because they're my buddies, Disky and Joke,
That's right.
they're funny fucking people. And you can also throw in Archita as well.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been hanging out on his streams. I find it to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was really interesting when we did this show. It was very cool in a weird way because he was Archita the whole time. So it was I was speaking with this character. It was pretty cool. Different, very different. And Joe gets mentioned a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Joke is just a fucking natural at doing the pirate radio thing.
Yeah, and he's humping it. He's like a motherfucker. I mean,
Yeah.
humping that shit.
And Disky, he's just a fucking natural at being a prick on stream, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, you know,
But he's also a really good dude.
you gotta have your color man there. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So, Gaming Yelling asks, why is your name not White Out?
Because that's not the name of the Scorpion song.
There you go. And all right, Kevke wants to know, in movies, practical effects or CGI, which do you prefer? That's a good question.
Depending on the movie, very much so. If it's a heavily CGI one, then actually, you know what? I take that back. Practical all the way.
I'm with you on that, man. You know, they're having to go back to practical because of 4K. That even stuff that was done in 1080, you can see the pixels and dark where they've darkened stuff out and stuff. It shows up on that 4K now. So they're having to go back to the old school stuff, which I think is great.
Like, I don't like that they're relying so much on CG.
Yeah.
If it's practical effects mixed with CG, then it's perfect.
Agreed. Yeah, exactly. A great blend of the two.
Yes.
Create a beautiful illusion. Let's see. All right, so we're still. How do you see the future of comics?
How do I see the future? I mean, there's always going to be comics. Either way you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Physical medium, that's a big question. It all depends on, one, the audience, two, the product, and honestly, three, the market. Because there is a market for comics, there will always be a market for that medium.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very broad question to ask, because like I could go into like the industry. I don't know what the fuck even to say about that. And then you have like European comics. Almost no one knows about in the US. And you can go to fucking Japan, which has manga. There's a shit ton of that.
Oh yeah.
So there's always going to be a audience for it. It's just depending on the product and what piques everyone's interest.
Yeah, and it's interesting if you like anime. Usually, the manga is a lot more intricately drawn, and it's beautiful. Some of that stuff is just gorgeous to look at.
Up until they get burnt out, yes. And then the artwork is the first thing to take a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Do you have more plans to do Gulf City stuff in the future?
Absolutely. Whenever Ghastly want to give me work, I will always help him out.
Are your commissions open?
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
Do you still get carded for wet Red Bull?
Yes, if I shave.
All right, so and what's next for Smash Comics?
Hopefully at issue 2 if I decide to continue with that or start a new project, but hopefully I will make more of it.
So when are you coming to America again?
Well, as soon as fucking possible.
I feel you. Disky says, I really just want to ask Blackout how magnets work.
No, Disky. No.
Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Dark Star says, I miss the adult-themed horror sci-fi comics of the 70s, 84, 94 heavy metal, creepy, eerie, and Vampirella, man. Oh, and Devilina. And there was a couple others. Some of the Marvel spotlights were excellent, too. Yeah, good stuff. Dracula, Tomb of Dracula. That was a great comic. Gene Colan was a brilliant artist. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Like horror comics, I can never get into. Horror for me, I can't read a horror story and actually be properly creeped out. I need the visuals to make like. I need more than just the words.
I understand.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right, so we talked about the undersubscribed YouTubers. What about a YouTuber you think is way overhyped?
Way overhyped. I mean, that... Once again, that's a big fucking question to ask. I mean, I could say PewDiePie, mostly because he's the most subbed, and... I mean, his content is good, but...
Well, see, if his
it's not
content's good, then that's, you know...
Yeah.
Well, I'll throw one at you. How about James Charles? Or whatever his name is.
I don't fucking know. I don't watch that shit. Just from the people that I
queens and shit.
Watch, so...
Yeah, I feel you, man.
I mean, there's the market for it. That's the thing. There's always a market for a certain type of content.
Joke wants to know, was your first boyfriend cute?
Go fuck yourself, Joke. Fucking asshole.
Funny as fuck. All right, so all right, let's see. All right, so this is the shell time, man. All right, so your commissions are open?
Yes, they're open. I'm just very picky about the projects I take on.
Okay. Everybody, all right, so Blackout's social media is in the description here. It says Blackout Sock Med. Sometimes I call it that, but it says social media. Twitter, YouTube, and Indiegogo to help with the comic. So,
yeah.
Well, all right, so what about streaming? What do you got coming up in the next week?
Next week, I might do a birthday stream on either Saturday or Sunday. And besides that, I'm probably gonna show up on a couple of streams, but I don't know how much I'm gonna be streaming myself. Also, yeah, well, next Sunday, I believe we're doing another movie stream with me, Esob, and the Smoking Rat.
You know, man, I may hit you up this week and to watch that Zardoz movie, just yeah, because I need to share this experience, man.
Hell yeah!
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've seen it, but it's just murky memory at this point.
Man, it's classic. But all right, so we're kind of at the end of the line here now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, an hour and a half, boom, that fast.
Yeah, it did. Also, I'm just gonna also note that, yeah, I might show up on streams of either Outlaw or Joke, because we do the Dead Air Gaming, which I'm apparently a part of.
Yeah, Stalvin does it too, right?
Yep, he does. Mm-hmm. All of them are good people.
See, and all of them have been in this seat that you're sitting in right now. So
Disky too?
I haven't done Disky. No, I need to.
Yeah, see, Disky, you're next.
You're on the HVT. I got September's full, but yeah, man, Disky, DM me, man, and we'll set up something for October. All right. Yeah, I've got some interesting people coming up in the next month. I got the next week. It's going to be right wing BDSM guy. And then Randy Monkey's wife, Lady Monkey, the week after that. Dark Conservatarian. This is a dude that I've been a fan of ever since he started putting out stuff. I like his style. He's in the metal. And then Terry Diamantis. And people like Bunny and maybe Gaming knows who Terry Diamantis is too. But anyway, so... yeah, man, that's yeah. It's Disky's turn in the chamber. All right.
Yeah.
And all right. So at this point, do you have a final word you want to say to the people out there?
Yeah.
It's your soapbox, brother.
Just try to be a better person than you were yesterday.
That's not so much to ask, man. You know what?
Nope.
It's
And looking out for everyone and yourself.
Dude, I'm glad I asked you on here, man. I've had a ball talking with you.
Hell yeah. That's been fun.
It always goes by so fast, man. When I'm having fun like this. So yeah, all right. So tomorrow, people, if you're interested, the extra credit show that I'm doing with Rebecca Furley, we're going to be on part 2 of the Yuri Bezmenov tapes, and he's a former KGB agent who talks about what the KGB's plans for destabilization of the United States was during the Cold War, and what we do is we try to illustrate how that's manifesting in the modern time. So anyway, that's just started. And so hot takes. I don't know. Lotus is supposed to pick out a movie for hot takes, and she hasn't done that. I haven't heard from her. So we'll see what's up with that. Friday, Creem stream, the usual. And next Saturday will be accelerated deconstruction. Maybe that won't get flagged like this week's did for bullshit. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that because I'm going to ruin this really cool contact high that I've gotten off of Blackout. I dig your positiveness, man. And on that note, you want to say goodbye, bro?
Goodbye, everybody.
Love that sexy voice. Bye, y'all, and we'll see you next time. All right, and hold tight, dude.
Every week on Friday, midnight Eastern, the Creem stream, the weekly world news for YouTube. Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern, the ice cream interviews, fascinating people, fascinating people. Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Hot takes with the Butter Baron. Watching horrible shit so you don't have to. Subscribe to Irate Prostate now.
Thanks again, peeps. Y'all are awesome. I had a fun.